Hey friends, I just wanted to share with you a few thoughts about Christmas and keeping Christmas simple. I had filmed this whole video with me trying to wrap my presents and then getting so overwhelmed that I decided not to use that footage. So I'm just going to do this. My parents are coming to stay at our house this week for Christmas. And so I just wanted our house to be clean and tidy, and the floor was looking very grungy. And so I just wanted to start with the floor. And so my oldest son helped me pick some things up, and he ran the vacuum over most of the floor so that we could get most of the little crummies up before we started mopping, so it didn't just become mud. And I used the broom to help sweep some of the stuff up, the bigger crumbs that the vacuum wouldn't get. And the kitchen is always a source for food spills and crumbs and little bits of garbage and stuff. So I just wanted to get all that picked up before he ran the vacuum over here by using the broom. So we're just tag teaming it. I find it goes a lot quicker this way, and then I don't have as much to do because I don't know what it is, you guys. It's maybe it's just having 4 kids or, being a family of 6. I feel like our house is in constant disarray. There is just stuff everywhere, all the time, and lots of toys places. And I like to keep the toys downstairs as much as possible, but I also she likes to be around us too when we're around upstairs. So yeah, these little bags are part of the Advent calendar that I made for my kids. I put Christmas decorations and then a treat in them, and so each day they put Christmas decorations onto the Christmas tree, and then they get to have a treat. It's a really nice tradition, and I love it because then I don't have to decorate the tree. They get very involved into that, and they get to hang their little decorations, and they get a treat. So who doesn't love a treat? They fight about who wants to open up the bag. My youngest two do, but we try to take turns as much as possible. Okay, so I just really wanted to share with you guys some ideas about keeping Christmas simple, but also family oriented, because I try to keep our Christmas budget under $1,500 for the 6 of us as much as possible. I mean, I haven't really calculated everything out this year besides the presents that I've bought, but all in all, I want to keep it affordable. Because here's the thing. I know that you are being bombarded by different people's content that is just very out of touch with reality. That's the only way I can explain it. People who just spend so much money on their kids that they buy so much things that I don't think that their kids could even use that many things in a year. It's just kind of ridiculous. There was this one I saw, and I did comment on it that this is just not in touch with reality. It's just not really fair to us average humans who are just getting by paycheck to paycheck for our kids to be seeing this and to be seeing well, look, they bought their kid 20 books and a hydro flask and 5 different gold necklaces, and it's a little bit insane. So anyways, I want to be here to say that, hey, you know what? You do not have to have a million things to make Christmas Christmas. And I will say that, I'm not the best gift giver. I have a really hard time. I get a lot of anxiety around gifts. I feel like there's a lot of pressure as a parent to get gifts that your kids really love and would use, and that they're not crying on Christmas Day because they're disappointed in whatever they got. So I just feel like there's a lot of pressure. And there's even more pressure from outside sources, right? From things that they're seeing from out in the world and their friends even. And so it's just a lot. I feel like Christmas is just a lot, and I don't love it. It's not my favorite holiday. I'm not a Scrooge. I don't think that people should never have gifts, but I just think that sometimes we overdo it, and there's just a lot going on. And so I just really wanted to kind of tell you what my philosophy is about Christmas, and then share in the comments how you feel and what you guys do for Christmas, because I think that's nice to hear other people's opinions too. That's a great part about having the option to make comments on videos and stuff is that you get to voice your opinion as well, and it helps me, honestly, because I only have my little bubble that I'm living in, so it's nice to have other people's opinions, and I do welcome your comments and your feedback. So during the year, what I try to do is just keep track of what the kids like, things that they need, things that are worn out and that they need replacing. And that sounds super boring, I totally know. Like my 4-year-old is getting socks and big girl underwear because she's potty training, and that is like her gift from us, from my husband and I. And then she'll get gifts from her siblings that will be more like toy related and everything. And then of course we do have Santa. We celebrate Santa, and Santa brings gifts, and Santa has a couple things for her too. And honestly, we just try to not focus on a lot of things. Like last year, I did buy them a lot more things. Like I tried to get a lot of things that they wanted and everything, and that was fine. I think everybody had a good time, but they still didn't use everything that I even bought them from last Christmas. Like, I wish I could just rewrap some things and just put it back under the tree and be like, there you go. But that's not really the way Christmas works. So we try to set a budget. We try to spend between $100 and $150 for each child, which sounds like a lot, but really in these days you cannot buy a lot for $150. And that's gifts from my husband and I, as well as the big guy. So it's not, so then that's more than just what my husband and I give to them. So trying to be, keep this family friendly, so in case you're listening with children. So that is my thoughts on giving gifts. Moving on, decorations. We do have some decorations. Most of them are things that are handmade. Most of them are ones that have either been handed down to us or given to us. I am not the type of person who goes out and buys a bunch of decorations every holiday. I know people do that, and that's wonderful for you. That's just not one of my things that fills me up. I like to keep things pretty simple and traditional. I'm more of a traditionalist. I like the trees that are very fancily done. Fancily. But yeah, I'm more of a traditional, Charlie Brown tree kind of person, and our decorations all are ones that either the kids have handmade, they were from our wedding, because we actually had Christmas trees for our wedding with snowflake decorations on them, so we still have some of those snowflake decorations, and they are also decorations that are, I really like the wooden ones, and yeah, usually they've been given to us. I don't go out and buy different colored Christmas balls every year. So I try to keep things simple. We also don't have very many places to put decorations anyways. I don't have very many shelves here in the living area. There's a few in my kitchen that we put a little nativity on there and some other little knicky-knacky kind of Christmas things. There's my window ledge there behind me and the one around the Christmas tree. But other than that, we don't really decorate tons. We did set up a little tree downstairs this year in the play area, and that's been fun to have those lights on. And we do have a garland that lights up that they could put down there as well, but nobody set it up so far this year. And we are sitting right before Christmas, so maybe that's something we'll do this week just for fun. I don't decorate very much outside. The wind blows like mad here. It's insane hurricane winds, and we don't have hurricanes. We're in the Rocky Mountain area, but the wind is ridiculous. And so our Christmas lights are just wrapped around our deck railing and our deck, because otherwise they would blow right off our house. So that is all I have outside. I'm not going to have any blow up things. I'm in the middle of the country, so nobody's going to see that. Anyways, it would just be for us. But yeah, we keep it really simple on the outside too. I am not a baker. I don't know if that comes as a surprise to you guys or not, but that is not something that I spend a lot of time doing. And so there are a few things that we like to have around Christmas time. Like one of them is nuts and bolts. We love that. My mom makes that. And so I make my own little version of it because my kids aren't super wild about the nuts in the nuts and bolts. So it's usually just bolts. So we do make that. And my mom and my sister and I make cookie dough on like the Remembrance Day weekend. We go over to my sister's house, we make cookie dough, and then we freeze it in rolls. So then that way we can just pull out a roll of cookie dough and make some whenever we need it, basically. And so we can do that throughout the holidays. But other than that, I'm not really baking a lot of things. So limited amount of baking. And I am the youngest sister. I have 2 older sisters and then I have a younger brother. And oftentimes we go to my oldest sister's house for like dinner and stuff, or my parents. Like we all live within an hour of each other, which is so awesome. I love having my family close, which means we can get together every holiday whenever we want. And quite often, in more recent years, I've been hosting a little bit more and more, but when I was younger, I didn't hardly host at all. It was either my parents or my oldest sister that was doing the hosting. And that was always fine by me because that's a lot easier. But I do actually really like to host. And we are super excited to have my parents for this holiday. And so that's going to be so fun. So share hosting responsibilities and just share that load, because sometimes it can be a lot. Especially if you're doing other things and you have a really busy season, sometimes it's nice if you can delegate hosting to another sibling or family member. And then my last food related tip is just to simplify the menu. We found a few years ago that we were having a lot of turkey in the fall. There's Thanksgiving, then there's Christmas, and my extended family gets together on Boxing Day. So we would sometimes end up having like a turkey with my husband's family right before Christmas and then turkey again on Boxing Day. And it ended up being like a lot of turkey and a lot of ham. And then we started to just change things up a little bit. My husband's family started making roast for their family dinner, and my family started doing steaks on Christmas Day, and that just helped to break up the menu a little bit. So, and we just keep it pretty simple. We have our meat, we have a potato, we have some salads, but we don't go super wild with all the different things, because when you think about it, like there's only so much you can eat. And so it's just nice if you have just a simple menu. It's actually like, it's easier for you to make, and it's probably a little bit better for you because you're not eating as much, right? You get your fill of those few things rather than 20 different things. But that's just my opinion. These are some of my favorite tips, and it's to reduce expectations. I try to say no to as many unnecessary commitments as possible. And it's starting to get hard now that the kids are getting older. They got friends, they want to go out and play with friends, and that's okay. That's totally fine. I just try not to take on too much. And that also applies to volunteering. I do a little bit of volunteering with our church and stuff, and I just try to limit myself to the things that I know I can handle. And it could just be as simple as the other day, one of the ladies asked if I could pick up a treat, and I was already going to be leaving work early and driving back home and then back into town. And so it just seemed like a lot. And I just said, no, I wasn't going to do that. I said, maybe we could do something different. And we did. We ended up stopping at like a Tim Hortons with our girls that we had. And that was totally fine. So anyways, say no to unnecessary commitments. And also the next one is like focus on quality time with your family rather than just checking a bunch of things off of a list. There's been times in the past when I've tried to do like an Advent activity kind of thing, and every day I tried to have a different activity, but that was just like, it was a lot. And I feel like the more kids I have, the less I'm able to like stay on top of an actual schedule. So instead, I just try to ask the kids, what do you guys want to do today as a family? And in that moment, they'll just say something, whether it's to watch a show or to play a board game. And then we just try to act on that and try to spend some time together as a family. And the last one here for reduce expectations is just to let go of perfection. I know it is so hard when we see people with these perfect homes and these perfect families, it seems. But honestly, it's not flawless. Nobody's life is flawless. They might be able to have it all together for the content that they're sharing, but guaranteed that there is something going on behind those doors. And if not right in that moment, then at some time in the past or future, there has been. Nobody's life is perfect. So just, make your plans and then just roll with it. Enjoy the moment as best you can, because perfection can really just tie you in knots and stop you from doing a lot of things that actually end up being amazing in the end. Sometimes when your plans change, it actually gets better. Sometimes it doesn't, but sometimes it does. So just kind of roll with it as best you can. And the last tip I wanted to share with you guys is just to limit distractions. As much as possible, try to focus on your family and the traditions that you want to carry on. You don't have to carry on all your traditions, but pick the ones that you really love and that your family really loves and carry on with those ones. And try to put the screens away, a little bit more during the season. Really try to include each other and get some quality face-to-face time. I hope that these tips have helped you to see that Christmas can be simple and still be Christmas. And don't push too hard on your mop because the head pops off. That's what I'm telling you here. So have a good week. I will see you guys later. Bye.